This is Jared, and I'm back. Hey, listen, everyone. I'm your host of Warriors Quest, Jared A. Brown, and I'm excited, all right, to do another show tonight. We've got a great guest who's got a spectacular story of triumph, coming, basically facing trial and tribulation head on, and facing it with family and support. It's a great story. I'm sure you're going to like it. But before I introduce the guest, and again, it's a guest you're going to want to hear his story from. I'm gonna talk a little bit about what an event that's going on. It's a great event, and if you live in and around this area, you've got to go to this event. So I'm going to plug in this event so that we can talk about it. This is a must-go event. All right. So as you can see, the New York State CKD champions, in collaboration with the Sunny Downstate Health Sciences University, they host, they're proud to introduce and host. They're going to be the host of kidney disease patients and professionals, all right? They proudly present their first kidney disease wellness workshop. And it's an interactive learning experience for professionals, patients, caregivers. Lunch will be provided and lunch will be offered, I should say. Lunch will be offered, and it's Sunday, November 3rd, 2019, from 10:30 to 4 p.m. That's 395 Lenox Road Auditorium, the corner of Lenox Road and New York Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. So it's an event. You're not going to want to miss this event if you live in and around Brooklyn or in this vicinity. Please attend this event. It's a must-go event. You gotta be there. But no further am I going to go without introducing, our guest for tonight. Man, the crowd is hyped and we're ready to go. I'm going to introduce Ed Limon. Ed Limon, welcome to Warriors Quest. Boom.
Thank you, Jared. Excited to be here.
You're welcome. All right, so you come from California. Introduce yourself to Warriors Quest, our followers. Let everyone else know, where you hail from. What part of California? NoCal, SoCal?
I'm from the beautiful Central Coast of California, halfway between Los Angeles and San Francisco. It's just a beautiful place to be from, to live. Most people that move away just want to move back.
Oh, wow.
It's just that nice. We've got mountains, we've got beaches, we've got vineyards, we've got everything here. We've got a great local university. It's a great place to be.
Wow, really that does sound.
And years ago, It was a few years back. It was voted the happiest city in America. So it's a pretty cool place.
Well, that sounds like a great place. Wow, that sounds nice. So, is it pretty much like 70 degrees all year round, or what's the weather like over there?
Not quite. It's like that a lot of times of the year, but the summer it gets really hot. It gets into the hundreds here, and the winters it gets freezing. So.
Okay.
We get to see everything here.
All right. You get to see all the seasons virtually.
We get it all. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, one of the posters I made for you was with you with the San Francisco Giants, ball cap on.
Right.
And so it's and I'd like to kind of ask about that. So, what has kind of made you a San Francisco Giants fan, and where does your passion lie for that?
Okay, well, I grew up for a while during childhood. We moved up north to San Francisco Bay Area, and I lived very close to Candlestick Park. That was the go-to team at the time for me because it was local.
Uh-huh.
And we would get the bus up there and walk to the park, grab some tickets. Not like now. I mean, you just walk up to the gate and get a ticket and get in.
Mm-hmm.
Get autographs, shag balls in the outfield, get autographs, all of that stuff. And that's just always been my team since I was 6 years old. So not to show how old I am, but that's 1969 till now.
All right. Okay.
It's been a pretty cool journey, even with all the losing seasons, but it's been a lot of fun.
Very nice. Okay. Well, great. sports is one of my, it's a passion of mine. I'm a big sports fan, and the fun thing about sports is, and you just kind of talked about it just a little bit right there with what you said, is that
Mhm.
you go through some losing seasons, all right,
Right.
and then the diehard fans like you yourself, all right, you know what I'm talking about, is
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it's the diehard fans that stick with the team,
That's it.
even through those losing seasons, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and it's kind of like life. All right, we have some losing seasons,
That's right.
but then we have some triumphs, and we've got some things that we overcome. And
Right.
so I'm happy to talk about what you're doing on your journey to overcome with what's happening. How long have you had kidney disease?
I've had kidney disease basically since 2011 is when it really surfaced, in the labs and stuff like that. And that was just a result of diabetes and high blood pressure.
All right,
And with the high blood pressure, I was prescribed a medication that we didn't know it at the time, but it actually sped up that process of kidney disease.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So when
So
a doctor
that's
noticed,
so
that's
the
when I was,
doctor kind of explained to you that
yeah,
that's with the medicine that was prescribed kind of helped speed it up.
yeah. So he
Wow.
immediately pulled me off of that. We got off of that, got on track with something better. And at
Mm-hmm.
that point, I started eating better. I started, taking better care of myself. I got off of all my diabetes medication, insulin, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been diabetes free since 2012.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Wow.
that's been a big plus, being that this is what did all the damage.
Right.
Not taking care of myself for a while and working hard and just being consumed by work
Mm-hmm.
and being self-employed with the pre-existing condition, you can't get insurance anywhere.
Yeah.
So you're kind of doing it on your own, and
Mm-hmm.
you just can't keep up with it. Diabetes is way too strong.
Yes.
So now I've conquered it, and I watch out for myself, and I try to live the best I can now.
Well, kudos to you. Seriously, props
Thank
to
you.
you, because
Thank you.
my own father, my dad, he had diabetes type 2,
Uh-huh.
and and it's not something that was easy for him to control or overcome, and I saw him
Right.
struggle with it.
Right.
I mean, there was a time where we had a big scare that he might lose his his leg, and it might be amputated. So it,
Yeah. And I've been
wow.
there. I've been there. 2005, I almost lost my left leg because of an infection.
Okay. All right.
So we had to spend a week in the hospital and try to save it with antibiotics, which
Mm-hmm.
was very costly without insurance.
Yes.
I ended up losing vision in my left eye. So now I have vision just in my right eye, and it's limited. I've got peripheral neuropathy. I've
Mm-hmm.
got gastroparesis, which is a deadening of the nerves in the stomach. So
Yeah.
diabetes will, if you, like I always tell people, if you don't manage diabetes, it will manage you.
No, I feel you, brother. A lot of people don't understand is that diabetes isn't always the cause of death, but sometimes it leads to other things
Exactly.
that can be very, very harmful. And and that's what, unfortunately, and I can't prove it, it's just conjecture on my part, but I think my dad became more susceptible to cancer because his immune system and his body was weakened by the diabetes. So,
I totally believe you. When you have diabetes, you have high blood sugar, you're living in an acidic state, and your body thrives more in an alkaline state.
yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
cancer doesn't like to live in alkaline state.
No.
It needs acid. So
Right.
diabetes is just a gateway to get in there sometimes, I believe.
It is, yeah. And I've heard this from other people too with what you're saying, and it makes it more conducive for cancer. And so
Exactly.
again, I can't prove that, but that's my speculation. And I'm not a doctor; I just play one on the
agree too.
radio.
Yep.
But man, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. So
Thank you.
when you had kidney disease or diagnosed with it since 2011,
Right.
and when they diagnosed you with kidney disease at that point, did the doctor kind of give you an idea of what stage you were and what you could do to kind of slow it down?
He did, and he said most of it at that time was diet. This is early 2011.
Uh-huh.
I had recently moved. I went to a new nephrologist or at that time, the first nephrologist I'd seen. And he says, you're going to need dialysis in several months. You're starting to have kidney failure. You're going to need dialysis. And I'm like, I knew what it
Wow.
was.
Yeah.
But until you're in it, you don't know exactly what's involved in dialysis. You
Mm-hmm.
just know they're going to clean your blood and there's a problem with your kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
So he gave me dietary things to do to slow it down. But basically, he was saying you need to get prepared for dialysis, which meant 2 surgeries to install this fistula and give that
Okay.
time to mature. And the day that I needed dialysis was November 23rd, 2011. And I had an appointment that day with my nephrologist.
Okay.
It
All
was
right.
11 o'clock. And the day before, I didn't make it to the lab for labs.
Mm-hmm.
They said, it's okay. Get to the hospital across the street, 7 in the morning, get your blood drawn, and we'll get the results rushed, and we'll be set up for your appointment. So I go do this. I get home by 8:30. I get a phone call.
All right.
We have the results of your blood test. You need to get to the office now. You're starting
No.
dialysis today.
Wow. How did that make you feel? I mean, that sounds urgent.
It was like somebody punched me in the face.
Yeah.
I literally was just shocked.
Okay. Yeah.
And sitting there, there's this reality that's been there in the back of my mind,
Mm-hmm.
but now it's here. So I go to the hospital. They put a chest catheter in me, and I recover from that. And I'm driven to a clinic across town, and I'm in my first treatment, and I'm like, wow, what is this place? And you see
Okay.
everybody in their chairs, and the
Yeah.
reality hits you that
Uh-huh.
this is the new normal, and I don't even know what it is.
It's a
all of a
rude
sudden,
awakening, right?
You're in a fast track of education
Uh-huh.
from just what you have to go through every 3 times a week for 4 hours to study on the outside to know everything else that's related. So it's quite a shock.
It's interesting that you describe it that way, and I appreciate you doing that, because one of the things I really try to hone in on, and I try to do, is I try to have my guest describe how it feels and what is happening, kind of be descriptive, because
Right.
it's difficult, for others who aren't connected to kidney disease really to understand, what it really is and how it makes somebody feel that has it. And so I think it's super great if we can have you explain things like this, because it is shocking. Okay. And it is also, very strange, and it's different. And then when you're there and you're putting in a situation within about a 12 to 24 hour period, like you're describing,
Right.
okay, these emotions are going up and down like a roller coaster.
Exactly.
And then you've got I'm thinking a lot of thoughts are going through your head, but what kind of life thoughts are you having? Like, what are you thinking about your life and the importance of your life and everything about your life when this is happening?
Yeah, well, while this is happening, you do what you're saying. You think about life and your condition and the things leading up to your treatments, the things you go through after treatments.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think you go to this appointment. They don't know how long it is. For most people, it's about 4 hours. You're seated in a chair. You're hooked up to 2 lines. One takes your blood out and one puts it back in.
Mm-hmm.
Once it's cleaned, the water's been taken out. It's a vulnerable state that you're just sitting there dependent on a machine to survive.
Okay.
And I use the word survive because it's really not living. The life you live, you gotta put that in.
Yes, and that's well said. I love that description.
Yeah, and I tell people I might be surviving or living right now, but I want to get back to thriving again.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of life left, and I want to get out there and live it. This is just a temporary state. Now, it's lasted a lot longer than I thought. They were telling me when I first started 5 to 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're coming up on 8 years.
8
on the
years.
23rd
Yeah.
of next month.
Uh-huh.
But you start out in the morning, you wake up, and you almost forget you have this. And then you wake up and you're like, I'm up early because I'm going to dialysis. Okay. Then you get geared up for that. I get to the clinic, and then you're in the waiting room with all these other people that are waiting to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get in the clinic, you weigh in, you get to your chair, and you're surrounded by everybody else like who's they're all in a different state of physical well-being, so to speak. And
Uh-huh.
you see people elderly, you see people young, you see, and it's just gloomy. I can't explain it any other way. You have some
No.
characters that are trying to be really super upbeat. That's
Yeah,
awesome. But other people are just there, and it's sad.
it
And
is.
with
Yes.
and with me, I can't survive without my iPad and my earphones, my Bluetooth headphones, and I just zone out there. I
Okay.
study there for school. I
Uh-huh.
I watch movies. I do puzzles, whatever, just to keep my mind off of it and not hear all the negative things that are going on around me.
Mm-hmm.
Bells, buzzers, people in pain, people moaning, snoring, just everything. I just kind of zone it out, and that gets me through.
Well,
So,
I want to, something that you said kind of struck me, and I want to talk a little bit more about that. When you said that it makes, that it's a state of vulnerability, that you're surviving, can you help us understand why you feel that way? Why you feel it makes you feel vulnerable?
well, you're dependent on a machine to take over part of your bodily function,
Mm-hmm.
and like any machine, that can have a malfunction. And yeah, there are safeguards in place to catch all that stuff really super quick.
Yeah.
But there are accidents that happen. Then you're reliant on professionals that are human beings, and sometimes they might make a mistake. That mistake
Right.
can be costly.
Right.
So you just
You're
feel kind
absolutely
of
right.
like out of control. You don't have control of what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
and that's more so when you see an ambulance show up to pick somebody else up for a trip to the hospital. You
Okay.
know, so
So let's have you tilt your camera just a little bit up.
oh,
Yeah,
good.
just a smidgen.
How's that?
Okay.
Perfect. Sorry,
No, I think.
All right.
I
Thank
think
you.
I'm moving a bit.
Yeah. How's that?
How's that?
All right, that should be better. So,
Okay, great. I'll try to stay still.
so well said. You've said some interesting things because
Mhm.
what kidney disease does, is it does grab a hold of you. It makes you feel like you're out of control.
Right.
Makes you feel as though your life is now upside down. These are common, things that have that other kidney warriors have described in regards
Right.
to how they feel and what it does to them. And with those descriptions and with what you've already described to me, how does your body feel? Like on a day-to-day basis, like before dialysis and then after dialysis, how does your body feel?
If I could put it into one word, it would be lethargy. I mean, you're just tired all the time, and especially when you get out of treatment, you're just exhausted. I mean, today I had 2 liters pulled off during treatment, which is pretty good for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just exhausted when I got out. Now, there's some days you might have a high fluid intake on a weekend. You're wiped. I mean, you get out, you just want to hit that bed. I'll get home at close to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'll sleep till 7 or 8 o'clock.
Wow.
You're that wiped out. You're
You're
not going
that
to go
wiped
out
out.
to You're not going to get together with friends or family and go to lunch or go shopping or do anything. You just
Mm-hmm.
want to. Your body's exhausted. It takes a lot out of your muscles and everything out when they're cleansing the water out of your system. So it's like you said, it does turn you upside down, and it just makes you so tired, makes you not want to do anything. And
Mm-hmm.
when you have a lot to do or you want to do things, you miss out on a lot. You miss out on a lot when everybody else around you wants to go do something family wise or something, and
Uh-huh.
you just can't be involved. You're just too tired. So it's
Yeah.
definitely, it definitely turns you pretty upside down, though.
So with the disease making you feel as if you're out of control, and then things are contingent upon the disease, like when your day-to-day activities, like if you want to go out, you have to kind of schedule it around whether it's a day you go to dialysis or not, or if it's
Exactly.
not a dialysis day, are you feeling well enough? Do you have enough energy? There are certain things that this disease can make you feel like you've got an anchor, or that you're chained to it, and with that being said, and with the way that can happen, all right, what are some things that you and your significant other and your family, okay, because I see a lot of support, and I love that, okay, I love that. I'm really digging your support system, your base that you have,
It's pretty good. It's pretty awesome.
It is. And so can you tell us a little bit about what they do to help you, to encourage you, and to keep you up, and to lift you up, and to give you a helping hand when you maybe have a down day or something like that?
My number one advocate throughout all this, and I've had different ones, but this past 2.5 years has been my Rachel. She's my fiance. She's my best friend. She's the love of my life. And I get emotional when I talk about her, so I'm going to try to hold it together. But anyways, she's there to uplift me every day. She's my prayer warrior. We live an awesome prayer life. We just live the life that God wants us to live. And she's there for everything. She takes care of me. She takes care of my being, not just doing things for me, but she's there. I can lean on her. If I there's nothing between us that is limited. Everything is off limits. There's nothing that we cannot share, and she's there for me 24/7. She worries about me, and that's a beautiful feeling in that way, because when you don't have that, you feel like you're all alone in that.
Right.
You feel like you're out there alone just with this disease, and you're just like, okay, I'm going to try to get through another day. Now it's given me so much more confidence to know that I'm part of a team that is fighting for the same thing.
Okay.
We're fighting for each other, and we're building a life together. And it's 2.5 years in, and we are so still in that honeymoon stage of
that's
seriously.
That's great.
It's like every day is new.
And
it's scary sometimes, because we'll be thinking the same exact thing at the same time. We'll send each other text messages at the same time. They'll come in. I'll push send, and she's texting the identical thing to me. It comes in so quick, I know she didn't type it.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So it's like, wow, we're both thinking the same thing at the same time.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, and so she's my rock. I can't say enough about her. That she's just really come into my life and just turned on the lights, so to speak. Just she shares my views of worship and of prayer. She's educated me into that. She's very supportive of my life goals, because they're intermingled. Our lives are intermingled now.
Yeah.
So my quest to finish, back in college now. I'm trying to get re-educated so I can get back into the workforce.
Okay.
I want to be productive. I still think I'm young. I might be old to a lot of people, but I want to get back into work. So she supports me in all of that.
That's great.
And
that is awesome.
Oh, it's just unbelievable. Yeah.
Every
day is an adventure. So.
Man, that is great. That is just super, because there's so much that a good support system, what a good support system can do for you yourself is it can really lift you up, keep you encouraged, and I tell you, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, Ed, okay, but I'm a man of faith, and I congratulate you because when you're going through what you're going through, faith is something that can always give you a better direction and guidance. And hope, okay?
Yes.
Hope is something that your faith can give you. And I'll tell you, with that support system and your faith, all right, in God, all right, hope is so powerful.
Yes,
Hope is one of the most powerful words in any language. I can say it in German, I can say it in Spanish, whatever language. And hope is by far and away the strongest, most powerful word, because hope can make you believe that your life will be better.
Yep.
And that is huge when you've got, Rachel, somebody who makes you have a vision of your life where you want to be a better person, where you're now getting your education because you have a vision of what your life is going to be. You have a vision of your life thriving, as you put it. Right. And man, that is just that's a glorious thing when you can have a vision of how you want your life to be, when you're putting it out there in the universe, and then you're asking God and letting God know what direction you want. Because I'll tell you, if you stand rooted, all right, if you stand rooted like one of the strongest trees with a good root system, stay rooted in God and Jesus Christ, you're not going to fall. You will not fall, brother.
That's right. And it gets stronger every day. That hope is I know is a promise that's the healing's here. It's going to come. It's just going to go according to His plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's great, and we look forward to that every day. So life is good. I'm looking forward to the future when I do graduate, get into grad school. My goal is to become a social worker and work with dialysis patients.
Sweet.
Who could better understand what you're going through? And, that was just a result of when this all hit, I was thrust into this world, and I worked with some great social workers. I'm thinking, I think I want to help people, because if I can help people with what I'm going through, that'd be pretty cool. So that's where we're at right now. I hope to graduate this next May. My bachelor's degree, and then on to grad school. So
sweet.
Really looking forward to that.
Man, I applaud you. Applaud you. That's super that you've got goals like this, and you're piling on it and making sure that you're hitting some things so you can go in a great direction. And that's your goal, and you've got a good support system, and that's great. And man, and speaking of what you just said, I'm going to touch on that as you talked about, and you said a word that I liked, God's plan, or that you said His plan, according to His plan. And I don't believe in any coincidences. Okay,
that's right.
My faith is too strong to believe in coincidences, and so I don't. I find it no coincidence that we're having this conversation tonight. It's God's plan. It's God's plan that we tell your story, and it's God's plan that we reach people and let others know about your story. Let others know about this bright, the soul that has such a bright light. Okay, you're going to shine, and you've got this light within you, and we need others to see that bright light.
That's right.
And so it's God's plan that we do this tonight. And man, I'm beaming that. I'm so happy that we're doing.
Yeah, you can't help it. I mean, we look at this every day. We see the blessings that come down every day, and we're just showered with them. It's amazing. They can be tiny little things, and it can be great things, but they're blessings every day. And it's all because we have such a beautiful relationship with our Father.
Yeah.
And we never let go of that. And I try to instill that in others, and going, you got to get on this. This is just great. Your life will be so much better. There's less despair. I mean, I notice now I don't get as down with life as I used to. There's always so much better things to focus on and to be happy with. So these blessings every day have just been unbelievable.
So let me ask you, with what's gone on since 2011, and you've been, on this journey of overcoming, all right, as I call it, your journey of triumph. How has your faith grown, and how has it flourished, or how has it gotten better?
It's gotten better because it's been more of a, I should say, it's been less of a spectator sport kind of thing.
All right.
Before it was, you show up once a week and you go through the ritual and then, okay, I'm good for next week. Now it's a day-to-day relationship of belief and of faith and of hope, and it's just so ingrained in your life every day that you live it. You live that faith. You live that love that the Lord has for us, and it's changed my life tremendously. Just on a daily basis, it's just great. It's a day-to-day relationship every single day, and not like before. It was there, and I had a strong faith.
Yeah,
that's what I thought at that point. But now it's like super strong, and there's nothing that I'm afraid of. There's just total hope that in faith that everything's just going to get better, and I know it will. And like I said, His plan is great, and it's coming. And when its time is right, that's when it's going to happen. I hope it's soon. But,
yes.
we have to do it when it fits for everybody. So
yeah, I hear you. It's God's plan, His timing. It's according to His watch, and and sometimes His watch and His timing is immediate, and sometimes it's a little later than what we expect or what we want. And so it sometimes is a little disappointing when it doesn't come right away. But I agree. It's a glorious plan, and sometimes He gives us a glimpse. All right, gives us a glimpse of how glorious it is, and and when you see that glimpse. Again, it gives you that glimmer of hope, and that hope can help you through some tough times. And I'm here to tell you that I believe that hope. Okay, if you continue and you stay strong with your faith, He won't let you down.
Right.
I guarantee you that.
Yeah, I totally believe that. Totally. Yep.
So with going to dialysis, you go there in center. How far away is it, the dialysis center, from where you're at now? Is it, 30 minutes away, or?
It's about a 10-minute drive,
10
to 12 minutes. And that's all dependent on the transportation. I'm in a wheelchair, so they pick me up in a bus.
Okay.
That accommodates the chair. And that 10-minute ride could realistically be anywhere from 10 or 12 minutes to 2 hours.
Okay.
Depending on their scheduling, who they have to pick up. So.
All right.
And it's on both ends of the appointment.
All right.
To get there in the morning, I might be picked up an hour before, and I might get picked up an hour after my appointment. So you're gone sometimes for 6 to 7 hours.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And when you've met with your transplant, the hospital, or has any of your doctors ever talked to you or discussed home dialysis with you?
It's not available in our area.
Really?
Yeah, it's not available in our area. Of course, peritoneal patients can do that, which I've never seen for me as viable because of the sanitary conditions. I have limited eyesight, small apartment, so it was just not viable for me. But the home hemodialysis, I know some people online that do that, and they have good success with it. We just don't have it in our area.
Wow, interesting.
The other thing that's interesting to me that we don't have is nocturnal dialysis, where you go in for like 8 hours at night. So that's another viable avenue for some people. Yeah,
that can be a viable solution for some folks. So, and when you're going in there, and you've talked about how sometimes it's doom and gloomy, where it has kind of sometimes people, it can be difficult to project an upbeat, positive outlook, and kudos to the people that you're talking about that you mentioned that do, because I can only imagine how difficult it may be for people to go there and still smile, and have a good attitude.
Yeah,
but Can you talk to us about maybe anybody that you've bonded with? Have you been able to make any connections with anybody there?
Well, this is what I kind of struggle with because I'm a very emotional person.
Mm-hmm.
If I take you on as a friend, there's going to be a relationship there. And I'm friendly with people there, but I don't get close.
Okay.
Because there's that day that you show up and, Mr. Johnson's not in his chair.
Right. And you're wondering.
And they can't tell you why he's not there.
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell when it's a loss. And
yeah.
every time that hits you, it brings you back to your reality. It brings you back to that doom and gloom. And I just tend to not want to be there thinking about that.
Right.
But there are people there that I've bonded with on a hi and goodbye basis. I know their first name, and that's about it. And I've known some of those people have actually gotten kidneys, and awesome for them. And I've been really, glad they got their blessing, and I've seen them move on, and that's just been great. But you see people struggle every day, and that's hard to see.
It is, yes.
On a daily basis.
It is difficult. It's difficult, to get to know people and then to see them either pass on or to see them go through some difficult times in their life. Because we've had some kidney warriors pass on, and it is difficult. Yeah. I can appreciate that. I can. I feel you.
There's, also hats off to all the professionals that work with us. I mean, these people have your life in their hands on 3 times a week, and it's a really busy environment medically. They're there for 12, 13-hour shifts.
Yeah.
On their feet the whole time. So they have a lot to deal with. And they, for the most part, are upbeat, very positive. They keep you going. And I'm blessed to have them in my life keeping me going for this, temporary period of my life. Because I hope it's temporary is almost over. So,
well,
go ahead.
No, I agree with you. It's because the big picture, again, it is a small temporary period. It's a probationary period. And so I agree, but it doesn't make it less, problematic.
Yeah. And they they work very hard and I can't imagine being that upbeat for so many hours, being so tired. I think about how much they walk. We had one nurse a few years ago. She's one of those cyclist people that do 50, 60 mile an hour.
Wow.
Rides. And she wore a pedometer and she was doing something like 5 to 6 miles a day in the clinic. One shift. And I'm thinking, man, that's just,
that's intense.
And they're wearing these paper gowns, basically, which prevent blood from getting on them.
Okay, all right.
That pretty much holds their body heat inside, even though they're thin like paper.
Yeah.
And they're just going.
Wow.
And it amazes me how much energy they have and how they can just really do this kind of job. So it takes a special person.
It really does.
Dialysis.
Yeah.
I mean, up next to chemotherapy, I think dialysis is right next in line with that. You see people at their worst every day.
Yes.
And there's no getting away from that. One shift. And I'm thinking,
yeah.
And I know it hurts them to see when people are lost because there are bonds formed there with your nurses and your technicians. So,
and I'm glad that you can kind of bring that up because they are some of the people that can also, even though they're not part of your, your foundation that I'm talking about, Rachel, and your family and your friends, even though they're not part of that support system, most of them, in general, I should say, are very caring individuals, people that genuinely want people to get better and want to take care of people.
Correct.
And so I think that's great that you're able to, it sounds like anyway, that you've got some good technicians and a good nurse there.
I do.
It's awesome. Good people at the dialysis center can really, that can amplify your appearance on life and your outlook on life.
Yeah. I wanted to touch on something really quick. Paired donor donations, paired donor program for people that want to be a donor, but they're not a match.
Mm-hmm.
You could donate on behalf of somebody, and then somebody who is a match with that person can still receive a donation. And a lot of people don't know about that, and it's very crucial. It's on the rise now.
Yes, it is.
With that becoming more popular, the waiting list is just diminishing slowly over time because
Mm-hmm.
now more transplants are being done.
Yeah.
It's very important. I've had a bunch of people get tested for me over the years,
Mm-hmm.
and I've had two that were not matches, and sadly, they weren't comfortable
Wow.
with the paired donor program. And when that was a tough pill to swallow.
That is a tough pill to swallow. Wow.
Yeah, and this was 3 to 4 years ago,
Yeah.
and actually very close between the two.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of tough because I'm like, I could have already had my life change already. I could have already been out of this and living life again and thriving again. But they just, if I didn't get it directly, they weren't comfortable with it. And I can understand that and I can respect it, but it was tough.
It is tough. It is.
And I think a lot of people out there, if they knew that you don't have to be a match, you can still give that gift of life and still save somebody's life.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get that out there, definitely out there.
No, and I'm glad you did. I want to talk more about that because I'd like to talk a little bit more in detail about what that really means to people.
Mhm.
Okay, because I think that there is some misunderstanding, and there is lack of information or lack of education.
Right.
So, what happens, just like you've said, is that if you're not, if someone isn't the right blood type, okay, for you, and your type, your donor blood type is type O.
Right.
And if somebody isn't type O, okay, that's okay, because what happens is if they apply to be a donor for, and they call the phone number for California Pacific Medical, and they apply to be a living kidney donor, even though they're not type O, then what happens is that your hospital, okay, then tries to find a match with other hospitals.
Correct.
And there's a swap that goes on. And this can potentially speed up your process because, again, I want to touch on that, and I get excited about that because some people they don't understand how it can speed it up. Well, if you're on the list, what they say, on an average 5 to 7 years, okay, I don't know who came up with that average because they throw that out there all the time. I hear this all the time. You've heard it. Many people do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if that's really the average, but all right, let's say it is 5 to 7 years, and it just seems longer because guys like you and my other kidney warriors, it's they're on it for many years. But let's say it is 5 to 7 years. Well, if with a paired exchange program, we can amplify or speed up this process, because what happens again is they'll find somebody who will be a match. And even though a person who calls tonight that's not type O, they'll put them in a donor exchange program. The hospitals will work together with a program that they have, and they'll work hard at trying to find a match. Correct. All right, and the more people that apply, the faster this process goes, and it does speed it up. It doesn't slow it down. Right. People think that, if I'm not the right blood type, then it's like putting like a fishing line in a big pond. Well, no, it's not like that. Right. You're one line, maybe one line, but that one line gets sent out to many hospitals that will put out other lines. And then if we have multiple people applying, even though they're not the right blood type, then the process just gets amplified. It gets sped up and it gets stronger. Yep. It can not only potentially, okay, not just theoretically, but it has historically and statistically been able to speed up the process, and it has actually produced a chain of living kidney donors.
Exactly.
Okay, a chain.
Exactly.
I've got contacts and connections with living kidney donors who have been involved with this paired exchange program. And I'll tell you, when this happens and it's a chain, all right, wow, it's an exciting thing when you understand that a living kidney donor has led to another, and then another has connected, and all of a sudden there are 4 to 6 people that now will be getting kidney donors because of a paired exchange program.
Yeah, there have been chains. There have been chains. In fact, one was I want to say last year at the University of California, San Francisco. There was nine different people, so it was 18 people. And
I'm telling you,
to me, they're all related, and it's this big network of people that
it is. Yes.
You know, so when you get involved in the paired donor program, you're not only saving your friend's life or your relative's life, you're saving somebody else's life.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just this outgrowing of love for everybody that is really cool. And I just wanted people to know about that.
Well, in order to make that happen, okay, it's like a domino. All right. In order to make that domino effect go, we have to have that one domino go first.
That's it.
Okay. So I'm asking and I'm calling out people. All right. Have compassion. May the mercy and grace of God be with you, that you feel the same Holy Spirit that you should be when God is speaking with you, and you feel guided and directed, then please act on that feeling. Okay? It's one thing to feel the Holy Spirit, but it's another to act on it, and that shows more than just faith. Okay? Without action, without works, faith is dead. So I'm asking you not only to have faith, but act on it. And let's move this one domino. Let's make this domino go and make it go as well as it can, so that this soul right here with all this light, he shines with light. He's a great soul, and he needs to have his life move forward so it thrives again with Rachel and with the rest of his family. And so please, it's a warrior's call. Okay, let's share this and make sure that we're setting this thing on fire. Light it up like a firecracker is what I'm saying. And when we light it up, okay, let's do it with shares. Okay, not only share it with groups, share it to your feed, share it as a watch party. Share it with a watch party, because then people will actually watch this whole broadcast and understand how emotional he gets when he talks about Rachel, and how he talks about how the disease makes him feel. And share it with large Facebook groups. Share it on Twitter. Share it anywhere you can. If you want, take a screenshot of this, print it out, and take it to work and put it in your lunch break room.
There you go. That's awesome.
All right, so we've got a number of people that are watching, and man, I'm super amped. I'm so amped, and I get so passionate about this, but I love getting this word out, and I it's a calling of mine, Ed. God has helped me have this platform, and with the mic in the palm of my hand, I'm going to do as much as I can. All right, to do this until there's no breath in my lungs. And until I cannot do it anymore. And that same passion, I want everyone else, and I wish I could just take this passion that I have, all right, put it in a bottle and have people drink it, all right? And if they could, all right, they would get they would have that same passion, get just as passionate as I am to help you. And if we had everybody, and I could clone myself, and maybe I could do that. I don't have that technology, but I wish I did.
That's awesome. We're looking forward to this too. And, we have that passion too. And we just, every chance we get, we try to get the word out there. And, if I get that one person to just, like you say, tip that domino. Awesome.
Yep.
But even if somebody else decides to do this for somebody else that they know. Maybe they've
Mm-hmm.
been on the fence for a while.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
it is.
I would be just so blessed to know that somebody saw this and decided to change somebody else's life too.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a beautiful thing. So
It is a beautiful thing, and beautiful things come from God. Beautiful things do come from God, and I believe that beautiful people are watching this tonight, and beautiful things can happen from God and from beautiful people that are watching. We can make this go like it has to be, and when we unite together, we can do powerful things.
exactly.
Especially when we're together, not just united, but we're united in one cause where we believe it and we have that same faith that it will happen. And when we come together and we pray together, you've probably been together with prayers, whether it's with your family,
Yeah.
maybe you've got a bunch of prayer warriors, and if you do, then come together, all the prayer warriors that are watching tonight, okay? And let's get this going for Ed Limon. But
Thank you.
man, we've got to do this for you because you have a life and you have this vision. And and when you started talking about this vision of your life and how you want it to be, you spoke about it with a smile on your face, and
Yep.
and with that vision, okay, you deserve that and you need to have it.
Yeah.
Okay, but we can't do this alone. We need everybody's help, okay, to make this happen. And that's what is humbling about this disease is, you talked about how it makes you feel like you're out of control. You don't
Right.
have that control, and it makes you vulnerable. Okay, but those type of things can be very humbling, and it makes us thankful for our blessings. And sometimes this can be a blessing in that we now can be grateful because we now understand how powerful it is when we unite with other people, even though we feel sometimes selfless, okay, and we don't feel as powerful as we used to be because our body doesn't feel powerful.
Correct.
But you're not powerless.
No.
Brother, you're powerful.
Amen.
That's
Okay.
it. Amen.
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 This disease does not define you.
This
Okay.
is true. We were just
God
talking about that
defines
today.
you. That's right. God defines you.
Yeah. Right.
And
Awesome.
we're going to set this on fire. You better call in and around your city, because I don't want any of the fire or anybody calling the 911 and trying to have anybody come over to your house
Yeah.
to put the fire out, because we're going to set it, and
right.
it's going to be a flame, and they can sometimes it'll be a flicker, but they can't take the fire away from us. Okay.
No.
Okay, they
Definitely
can't.
not.
It'll be sometimes a flicker, but they can't put it out.
Yep.
And we can make sure that we keep it going and that we're strong. And I know and I envision that, and I see it, and I have faith that this is going to be a great thing. But again, we need to do everything in our power to get this going and move it forward. So I'm asking
Yep.
for everybody's help so that we can do that.
Yeah.
What are some things that you've done on your own to kind of get the word out, Ed?
I've reached out to people on Facebook. Just reached out to people. Please share this. If you're considering being a donor, just trying to network every so often.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it feels like people see it so often that they just kind of get a blasé attitude about it. But
Yeah.
you just got to keep on being out there.
You do.
And refresh. It's like hitting the refresh button on your screen.
It
You just got
is.
to keep on refreshing it because it's still here. And, we're going to win, and we're not going to give up. And I just keep the word out there, and I talk about it, and I advocate for others. And,
Mm-hmm.
and it, you just can't stop.
No, I feel you. Sometimes some people may see it as white noise because they may see it, regularly.
Correct.
Okay. And I
Correct.
get that, and because I advocate for other people. My twin brother and I advocate for almost 13 people together, and and I've heard some things like, well, I see it too often. Okay, shame on anybody who says that, by the way. Okay. I'm not into shaming people, but shame
Right.
on you, okay, if you're one that says I see this too often, because it's generally the person who says that isn't connected or doesn't have kidney disease and isn't fighting for
Right.
their life. Because if you were fighting for your life, or you know somebody who's fighting for your life, you wouldn't say, I'm tired of seeing this notification every day or regularly.
Well,
So,
we noticed today that, while we're on that subject, that when this was all shared to get the
mhm.
word, Warrior Quest is coming up. Join us, get the word out. We had a certain amount of likes on Facebook and comments. In another post was a simple picture of our two dogs that got way more likes, and
Oh my gosh.
we kind of reflected on that and go, this is like super important.
Yeah.
And these are people that are, in your life, a lot of them that we know
Mhm.
personally, and
Right.
people are liking our dogs more. And it's like, so we just got to keep on pushing forward and getting that word out there.
You do. And what happens, Ed, and it's not fair. It's not fair, is that they people they grab a hold of something that they see that they can relate, something that they can that's relatable.
Right.
And many of them have dogs,
Right.
and it's relatable.
Right.
Having kidney disease isn't relatable, and they don't get it and they don't understand it.
Correct.
And so it is deplorable that they don't pay attention to it, and they don't they don't grab hold of the sense of urgency as they should.
Exactly.
And so part of what we're doing tonight, and part of what you do, is that we have to educate them.
Exactly.
Okay, we have to let them know that you feel fatigued. Okay, it zaps you of your energy before you go to dialysis, and then it zaps you of your energy when you leave dialysis sometimes.
Right.
And some kidney disease patients, some kidney warriors talk about how they call it fogginess, like their memory isn't as good as it used to be.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so part of what we have to do is we have to describe and we have to educate them, and that can be hard because again, it's not relatable, and so and the people don't want to read a novel, so it's hard to put it on words. They don't read a big long novel when you post something, and so I try to be creative, like with the posters that I made, where I put something that they could catch attention, and so I try to do that with my posters because people have to see something that's bright, so I put the bright green on there, and you have it's interesting to see what works and what doesn't. But what I'll do is, and I know I mentioned this offline, and I've got it in front of me on my phone here, but I'm going to send to you a link for a website that gives you 5 free T-shirts. Okay, it's a website called designashirt.com, and I'll send you the link.
All right.
Okay, but this website allows people who have not just kidney disease but other issues, diabetes, whatever, and they allow you to have 5 free T-shirts, and you can design them. And if you need help designing it, you hit me up, brother. Okay.
Okay.
All right. But Rachel's pretty creative too. I've seen her.
Creative.
Yeah, I've seen her Facebook page. So, but if this website designashirt.com, it allows you to create 5 shirts for free, and you don't have to pay for shipping, and they'll send them out to you, and it's all free. Now, I was skeptical, and you're probably skeptical too, thinking, "Oh, come on, 5 shirts. Okay, what's the catch?" But no, I didn't get a bunch of spam. I don't get a bunch of ads sent my way, and I wasn't charged shipping, and it was completely free. So I did try it out, and I have 5 shirts where I advertise, for one of my kidney warriors that I advocate for directly. So it works, okay? And
Can we introduce Rachel?
Absolutely. I'd be tickled. Okay? I'd love to have Rachel come on camera.
There she is.
Hello.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Jared. Thank you so much for the last
few weeks. I need to tell people really quick just how faithful you are. You have a good teacher in the Lord because you are straight faithful. You have not let us go. You didn't put us to the side and say, hey, we're going to do this in 3 weeks and talk to you then. You
Mm-hmm.
were with us every week. You've been IMing us and just contacting us and keeping us in the loop of what's going on and introducing us to other pages for us to go look at and other people's stories so that we can go and take a look. And I'm just really appreciative of that because,
Amen.
you know, as a caretaker, as a significant other, I watch it from the sideline.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
You've got a front row
it's
seat, huh?
it's easy for him to come home and or to say what happens when he comes home, but I watch it.
Yes.
And I watch it sometimes from the sideline, and you
Mm-hmm.
just want to go right there and do whatever you can to protect the person. And I need people to understand that it's more than just kidney disease doesn't just affect the person, it affects the family.
Absolutely. Well said. Well
I
said.
know that his sisters and his mother, they have been a huge part of his life in helping him to get through some of these really horrific trials that he went through to get to where he's at right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a great support system, but we want that support system to come in a different direction.
Yes.
We want to start seeing people you know, let's get the donors. We need people to come in and say, I want to be a donor. What can I do? I may not be a donor for everybody, but I can be a donor for
Yep.
Miss Jessica that I saw today on your page, or
Uh-huh.
you know, that lovely single mother. What was her name?
Right. Jasmine. Uh-huh.
Jasmine. You know,
Yeah.
these are
Yeah.
ladies who are going through something right now, and they need a donor.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
And, you know, I watch Ed. What he's not telling you is sometimes Ed's 6'4". He's a big man. Try having this big man faint and take a door off the door hinges because his blood pressure dropped after dialysis. It's a serious thing, people.
It is
I
very
really need people
serious.
to understand that it's not about just, oh, he goes, he gets his blood filter, he comes home. No, it's a lot more serious than that. And people need to understand that
Yeah.
you know, I have a lot of people in my life that I love and that love me, and they go on my page and they share and they share and they share. And then I think I have people that say, God, she's sharing again. I got news for you. I'm going to continue to share.
Yes.
Because even after this is
Don't
over,
stop.
Ed gets his kidney, then we have a new focus. After he gets his
Yep.
kidney and he's at a stage where we
Mm-hmm.
know he's better, then it's time for me to give a kidney.
Yeah.
We want to wait till he's home from the hospital. He's on medication. We know he's not rejecting because we know in the name of Jesus Christ he's not going to reject. And then at that point, it's going to be time for me to test to give my kidney to somebody, and
Amen.
somebody gets a living donor because you know we want to pay it forward, and we know that we can, and we've
Mm-hmm.
talked about this, and this is
Yes.
something we want to do. So we know that 2 people prayerfully in the next few years will have a kidney, my Ed and someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And I just encourage anybody out there right now. You know, I'm gonna say this. I really compel you to look into this. Go to a dialysis clinic. Go and speak to the people that are sitting out there waiting to be seen.
Take a look at it. Mm-hmm.
That's right. Go see.
Mm-hmm.
Go talk to them.
Yes.
They're lovely people. They're people that want to live again.
Mm-hmm.
Go and speak with them. Go and go to a convalescence center. There are people in the convalescence centers right now that are not giving up on life, that are going to dialysis.
Yeah.
Go talk to these people. There are people out there. I compel you, please go find out. Go educate yourself. And when you do, you're gonna find out that it's really, yes, is it a challenging position to put yourself in for someone you don't know? Yes. But is it
Great.
worth it? Yes. And if you have a faith in the Lord, and
Mm-hmm.
we do, God's gonna. The
Amen.
Word of God says that He has a plan for us, and it is a good plan.
It's a beautiful
So
plan.
we rely on that good
Mhm.
plan. You know?
What's one of your fears, though, Rachel? What's one of your fears with him having kidney disease?
Right now, I'm going to tell you the truth, Jared. Earlier this year, I've been with Ed for almost 3 years now. And the minute I met him, he wasn't a kidney to me. He was a man.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. And one day I was home, and I'm always reading things. I'm always looking at things. And somebody said, end stage renal failure. And it hit me. End stage. That means
End
something's
stage.
coming to an end.
Yes.
His mortality. Something's
Mhm.
coming to an end. And
Yeah.
I thought, that's not my end.
Mm-hmm.
But, the truth is, it is.
The truth is, it can happen. It
it
can.
can happen, yes.
That is a chance, and that is that's a possibility, and which is the urgency of what we're talking about tonight, and what we're doing to get the word out there and to reach more people, so that we can change that future, and so that we can. Because you're right, God has a beautiful plan, and God has a plan, but again, the faith without works, it's dead.
He's dead.
It's dead. And,
Yep.
one of the things that it's an oxymoron, but something that doesn't make something dead is dedication. All right. And I'm talking about having dedication. So don't stop sharing. Don't stop talking about it. Don't worry about the small percentage of people that get annoyed. Okay. Again, those are the people that don't understand, and it's not relatable to them, and we're not looking for that small percentage, and sometimes when that person puts something in a comment or doesn't like something, whatever, sometimes it's annoying when they don't like it, but whatever it might be, okay, the negative things can sometimes seem like mountains. You know what I'm saying? It's just how our brain works, okay? But keep hold of your faith, because your faith together is very strong, and I love it. Okay,
Yes, it is.
you're, you may be 6'4", but I'll tell you what, with her faith and with her love with you, you're 6'8" and stronger. Okay,
Amen.
Amen.
all right, you're one. You're one. I don't know how tall you are, but he's probably taller than 6'8" with you.
Let's just put it this way. I'm 4 foot and he's 6'4".
Right. Okay.
So, you do the math.
But you're one, okay? And
Yeah.
again, God has a beautiful future, and he has a plan, but in order to make that plan work, we all have to be united, and we have to put forth some action. And so, man, I'm so excited to do that, and I'm so blessed to have met you both.
Thank you. I'm blessed too.
Man, my heart is full for you guys, and I'm hoping that everybody else has felt the spirit and has felt the same thing I have tonight, that feels encouraged and guided to act on what we've talked about. So they indeed feel, as you put it, compelled. All right, because we want people to act on the spirit and be compelled to do something that is courageous, and that's what heroes do. We'd like a hero to help.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're type O or not. Apply. Let's start that one domino.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. It's funny that you use the word hero, because we were texting today, and I asked him, "Are you nervous?" And he said, "A little bit. I don't want to, do something that, I say something wrong, or don't say it right, or don't communicate.
Yeah.
This is so important."
It's natural.
Yeah.
And he says, "And I don't want to, disappoint you." He was concerned about disappointing me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "But you're my hero.
Oh, wow.
You can't disappoint me. Can't disappoint me."
No.
Because he tries and he works. And you know what's even greater about? He gets so excited when somebody gets a kidney. He'll be at dialysis. He'll come home and he'll be like, "Somebody got a kidney." And I'm not going to lie to you, Jared. I think, yeah, but it wasn't you.
Yeah.
Because my heart wants him to get a kidney.
Mm-hmm.
But he gets so excited when he hears about somebody getting a kidney. We heard about somebody on your show a few weeks ago and they got a kidney. And
Yeah,
we were so
Verna.
excited.
Hmm.
And so we are one, and we thank God for allowing us to be close to him, for giving us the faith,
Yeah.
for keeping us with strength, giving us
Hmm.
the strength that we need. For people like you who had a small thing in your life grow it this large.
Yeah.
You know, I understand the story of why you started, and this is just a wonderful thing that you've done, Jared. I can't,
Very
you know, you're my
beautiful.
hero. I mean,
Yep.
truthfully, having people that are willing to go the extra mile. Steve, you know, hosting this show and producing this show,
Hmm.
he's another hero. These are
He is.
people that are enriching other people's lives because you're helping to get the word out, and we greatly appreciate it.
You're very
Without
welcome.
that extra
Thank you.
word, you know,
Thank
we
you.
thank you
Yes.
so much. We
Thanks,
truly
yes.
do.
Yes.
I can talk all day, Jared.
Well, thank you both for coming on.
Thank you.
Again, it's been a pleasure. Man, this is absolutely, you know, I had a picture and a vision of how this would go, but this has gone 10 times better. Again, this is
Awesome.
I'm so glad we did this. So
Thank
happy
you.
we did
Great.
this.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it, and we wish you continued blessings and blessings to everybody out there watching.
Yes, thank you.
We hope you have a blessed evening and a blessed life.
And Steve says thank you as well. He
Thank you,
appreciates the
Steve.
kind words.
Steve,
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I'm going to continue to go to his page and watch some of his outtakes and whatnot. And
Yes,
he's
please.
got some really good ideas. I love when he's talking to these people. He's so engaged.
He
They're
is.
talking, and he's just like, wow, I want it.
Yeah, Steve has a big heart. He's got a big
Yeah.
heart, and he's,
Right.
you know, he has so much passion, and because he has so much love for people, and it's a pleasure to be connected with him and Urban Health Outreach Media Network. And
Yes.
Right.
thank you again for coming on.
Thank you.
Any shout outs? Okay, any shout outs that you'd like to do before we end the show?
Oh boy.
Where do we start? All of our family and friends.
Mom.
My mom, who's been a huge advocate and making sure that we're taken care of and that, you know, we keep this battle going.
Mm-hmm. Our kids, our grandkids, we have a grandbaby coming.
We have a grandbaby
Oh,
coming.
wow. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, you know, just our family. I have a lot of family down south. We're
Uh-huh.
going to be heading down there for the holidays. And, you know, that's another thing people don't understand. We had to put in for a dialysis clinic down there.
Right.
Thanksgiving.
Make arrangements
2-3 weeks ago.
ahead in advance. Right.
Yeah. Yep. So, you know, just so you can get an appointment to be, you know,
Mhm.
they send your prescription down there and so forth. It's not you just get up and you go.
No, you can't do that just like in a spur of the moment type of
No.
thing.
No.
Yeah. And thanks to all my friends and family who supported me over the years. It's been a true blessing. I've had a lot of support. And again, I want to thank my beautiful Rachel here for being my number one advocate and keeping me in line when sometimes I get not so on my where I need to be. And she keeps me in line, and she's just my heart, and she's there for me, and I love her for that.
Awesome.
Mm.
Well, God bless you both. God bless you and your family.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Hope you all the best success. I hope I wish and pray for happiness, that you continue to thrive and have that vision of your life that you have talked about already.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Well, have a beautiful evening.
You
I'll
too.
keep in touch. I'll send you that link for designaShirt.com. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good evening. God
Awesome.
bless.
Thank you.
God
God
bless.
bless.
Peace
Take
out.
care.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye now.
All right, everybody. Thanks for
Pleasure.
coming and watching Warriors Quest tonight, because we've spoken with a beautiful family, and Ed Limon, Rachel, and their whole family are so well connected. But man, I'm the one who has benefited because of the love that they have for each other is such a strong love. That love that they have for each other is strong. Okay, and it's something that is from stories. It should be there should be a movie made from that love, that type of love that they have. All right. And because of that love, we need to do all that we can to continue to share this, get the word out there, like a radio, get it out there and have everybody hear it. Okay. Have everybody see it. Let's do this. And do it again, and create watch parties, have this replayed as many times as we can. If we can get this as 100 shares as quickly as possible, then we can get this going in the right direction and make sure more people hear us and get his voice heard. But thank you, everybody, for watching tonight. Continue to watch this, replay this, and let's make sure that we hit that one domino for Ed Limon. Thank you. God bless everybody. Peace. I'm out.